Hello and welcome to the ARCS pre-race show at Talladega Superspeedway. Well folks, one race separates us from the playoffs, so let's take a look at the point scenarios heading into the final race of the regular season. As we take a look at the regular season title and the 15 bonus points that go along with it, we have two possible victors, those being Ricky Quinn with the series topping 384 points, but right on his heels is the rookie looking to upset the entire series, David Long, only 1 point away with 383 points. Now as we move on down to the cut line, we have Eddie Carlson in the 48 machine, is safe for now, but not out of the woods yet, plus 11 points. And the number 38, Darren Kiefer, who is the Season 2 champion, trying to defend his title in Season 3, is looking to defend it, but he is only 3 points in, so that's not a lot of points. Only 3 positions on track here at Talladega, and those could go bye-bye very quickly. On the outside looking in is the number 40 of Chris Hergeson. He is minus 3 points out at 325 points. The number 21 of Richard Morphy is minus 6 points out at 332, while Aiden King and Andy Seville are the only other drivers realistically with a shot to make it in on points, minus 30 points roughly, and they're heavy long shots to make it, while the remaining 21 drivers all have one objective: win this race. And if they don't win, they go home. And just a little tidbit here, Carter Hayden did that in Season 1 and silenced all the doubters and got the win at Talladega and made it into the playoffs. With that said, let's move right on into the action here at Talladega. Hello and welcome to the ARCS. We're live here from Talladega Superspeedway for the running of the Chevy Silverado 75. Well folks, it's that time of season. It's time to lock in those playoff grid spots, and 16 drivers are going to make it, but 25 of those drivers are going to get sent packing home. With that said, let's take a look at the starting grid. Starting in the pole, Benedict Schumacher. In second, Diego Chacon. In third, John Ross Stein. In fourth, Ricky Quinn. In fifth, Andy Seville. In sixth, Darren Kiefer. In seventh, Joffrey Weeds. In eighth, Richard Morphy. In ninth, Blubber Plummer. And rounding out your top 10, Draven Sandy. Let's take a look at the rest of the drivers in the field and get on into the final race of the regular season here in Season 3. And we're live here at Talladega Superspeedway. The pace car diving off as Richard Petty brings it down pit lane, and we have to go through the long tri-oval here at Talladega Superspeedway. Keep that in mind, as the leader here in the tri-oval might not win the race because it's a long way down, almost going down into turn 1 dang near, as they're already filing out 3 wide. We haven't even got the green flag, and we're underway here at Talladega. Benedict Schumacher, your pole sitter, but he's going to get a rough challenge from the outside as Ricky Quinn, I think, has already got it 4 wide, and we haven't even made it through turn 1 yet. This is crazy here at Talladega. Oh, and he's kissing that wall. As Benedict Schumacher, as everybody shuffles together, is going to form a charge against that number 7 Xerox machine. 29 laps here in this race, so it's quite a long one. As John Ross Stein, he's in the bottom in points, but he's not last here, folks. He is leading this race, and it would be oh so special for John Ross Stein to win this race here today and lock himself into the playoffs. I don't think we've only seen, like I said in the pre-race show, Carter Hayden be able to lock himself in Season 1, and he did actually have a great playoff push in Season 1, so usually drivers that carry the momentum in from Talladega usually do not too bad, but Andy Seville juking and jiving on the bottom lane with Joffrey Weeds. Joffrey Weeds got 2 wins this season, and he's looking to add another one. Is Bussy Jr. in the wall? Oh, and is he going to get out of the draft back there? Oh, that is not good at all for Bussy Jr., and I think he might need at this stage a caution, but oh my goodness, the leaders are 4 abreast going into turn 3 and coming out of 4 here. As John Ross Stein got shuffled out of line, and he's almost in the wall. And these cars are racy. I would not be surprised if we see a crash as Draven Sandy leaned on Andy Seville pretty heavily there, as Ryan Hubbs leads the lap there over Blubber Plummer, the road course ringer. But we're at a super speedway here. as I believe that 18 car of Robbie Margot on the bottom, pushing the 14 out front. Oh, and Andy Seville's in the wall. John Ross Stein behind him. Oh, no wrecks. But Andy Seville was grinding that wall. But 3 wide throughout the pack is Robbie Margot, still challenging Ryan Hubbs there. And they are really racy, folks. I don't think I've ever seen them this racy at a Talladega Superspeedway race at the get-go in a while. As Jacob Bradley drops underneath, that 18 car, will he get a push from Tyler Seville? As Tyler Seville says, screw you, when he goes to the middle lane. But Jacob Bradley, it's been a minute since he won, but his last win came in our inaugural race at Daytona Superspeedway. And that was a long time ago, as we got the 34 of Jerry Funk on pit lane. I wonder what Jerry Funk's doing. I don't know how that's going to play out, but we'll see. They probably will have to pit here. So, 4 of 29 complete here in this race, as Jack Porter trying to push that 42 car in the middle lane, as the 42 car drops down onto the bottom lane there. And that fourth, we have 4 lanes here at Talladega, folks. There is a 4th lane on that very outside, almost near the wall, trying to form, with Tyler Seville leading that charge. As Draven Sandy on that very outside lane, but Bob Verstappen, is he going to block Eddie Carlson on the bottom? Oh, and he does, and he shuts the door. But one important thing we're going to have to watch here today at Talladega is that regular season, as we saw Jerry Funk there. But that regular season title between Ricky Quinn and David Long, pretty much whoever finishes in front of the other is going to get the bonus 15 points. The bonus points that accumulate to 15 points. Oh, as the 88 leaning on Quinn Porter there, I thought that was going to be a wreck. As Deacon Gentleman sent it to the inside of the 88, that was nearly a wreck. And they are all out here at Talladega, as they should be. But my goodness, one wreck could change the playoff implications drastically here, and the regular season title, might I add. But Bob Verstappen, I believe he's another driver. I'm pretty sure he's got a win, if not 2 wins in the bank this season. We'll have to look at the end of this race and take a look. As I'm looking on the sheet here, and yes, he does have 2 wins, so I am not incorrect in saying that, but how about Deacon Gentleman on the bottom? He had some wins early in Season 1 and Season 2. I want to say he got his first career win at Road America in the number 9 car for Richard Petty Motorsports, but John Ross Stein is already back up the front, folks. He wants this win bad. Well, considering he is last in points, there is no other option for him at this point in the season, and he needs that W, as he's going to try to secure it here today at Talladega. There's Jerry Funk. Poor Jerry Funk trying to make it back into the playoffs after he was your Season 1 champion, but just cannot put a solid season together to try to reclaim the throne here in the ARCS. 7 of 29 complete here as, whoa, Cassidy Reynolds jumps to the bottom lane and blocks Diego Tacone, and Cassidy Reynolds makes an aggressive move to the inside of Tony Jansen, another driver, Tony Jansen, that needs a win here today, and is part of, whoa, Cassidy Reynolds jumps up in front of Tony Jansen and then goes down to block Diego Tacone. Cassidy Reynolds is all over the track, making aggressive moves, but it's paying off right now, as Cassidy Reynolds, she's up into 2nd place. Got John Ross Stein there for the 2nd spot, I should say. Now she's up into 2nd. So you got Deacon Gentleman and Cassidy Reynolds there, using their powers, their tandem powers, trying to break away. But there's David Long, folks. He's in the thick of it here in that 99 Citgo Ford. Right there in 3rd place, and he's leading over Ricky Quinn. And Ricky Quinn, folks, in that 8 car, is on the bottom lane, not too far behind. So that regular season title is really close as it sits right now. And as they cross the line, 20 to go in the regular season here in Season 3. Still a lot more racing in this left to go, but still a lot more racing left in Season 3. The regular season doesn't mean the end of it here. What was John Ross Stein's in the wall? Oh, he's in the wall. Car's trying to avoid him there. But speaking of avoiding, there is Jerry Funk right there. He's going to play a role in this race. Not the way he probably thought he was going to play a role, but he is probably going to hold up a line here, and that's going to definitely change some momentum for a lot of drivers here, as he does not have drafting help. And right now, Ricky Quinn is holding serve in the regular season championship, as that shuffled the other driver of David Long out to the outside, out to pasture. And we've got cars that have broken off of this front pack, folks. But we'll catch up with them in just a moment, as I want to see... Whoa, is that 22 car? Sean Carson's in the wall. And everybody will drop away from him and avoid that carnage, as there's Jerry Funk on the backstretch right now. Let's see what happens here. As Cooper hones, where is he going to hone his vision in to try to jump to the outside or the inside? He looks like he's going to go to the outside here. As Ricky Quinn, the regular season points leader, is going to... What is he going to do? Is he going to push him? I think he's going to push him. I don't know what Ricky... Oh, and he's not going to push him. He left Benedict Schumacher to push him. But Jerry Funk really didn't hold anybody back. He's just jumped into this pack. He really hasn't slowed anyone down. I'm surprised. He didn't hold up the pack much at all. As Deacon Gentleman's in the wall. And now the pack is spread out here, as they're trying to avoid these drivers that are bouncing off the wall. And I assume these packs back here will be able to catch up, because there's about 3 packs. You've got the front lead pack, and then you've got 3 stragglers in the middle there that still have the draft from the main pack. And then you've got a group of cars back there. So I assume if they go single file, they'll probably be able to catch up. So I wouldn't be worried if your favorite driver's back there, but everyone should be able to bunch back up to this lead pack. But Cooper Hones holding steady here with Richard Morphy, Richard Morphy is 6 points out before the start of this race. And Richard Morphy, I think he probably is pointing his way in right now, but obviously it's only 12 of 29 complete here at Talladega, so Richard Morphy's got a ways to go. But Richard Morphy sure would hope the rain or the race would end early here today. As Ryan Hubbs making a charge with Robbie Margot on the bottom, and the 3 car, I believe, helping. Yes, the 3 car is helping. But I want to say Cooper Hones is one of those drivers. No, Cooper Hones has a win. No, I'm not going to say that. Cooper Hones does have a win here this season, so he's not one of those drivers. Well, heck, all the drivers want a win here today, but Cooper Hones has got one in the bank, and he's really just kind of banking on something funky here to happen today. And there's Bussy Jr. as he wants something funky to happen here today, as he is not a lap down yet, and the leaders are coming, so Bussy Jr. wants a caution very soon. While we got a moment here, let's take a look at the Chevy Silverado fastest lap of the day, and that goes to Bob Verstappen. So good job for Bob. Whoa, we got a crash! A car's up and over! Michael Renninger! And like expired cake, he gets thrown out. Oh my goodness, and we got cars upside down. Eddie Carlson is upside down. Oh, Deacon Gentleman's involved, and that middle pack caused a caution, and we'll get a replay in just a moment. But who's going to lead back to the stripe? I think it's going to be Cooper Hones, and he's got it at the line with Ryan Hubbs second, and I believe Ryan just in 4th place. So we'll take a look here at Talladega. And we're back here at Talladega. Let's take a look at the replay. Ooh, the 88. Oh my goodness, and Michael Renninger goes upside down. And look at that, folks. The 8 car of Ricky Quinn, who had the regular season championship within his grasp, has now received damage in that wreck. And that probably canned his hopes at a regular season title, and Eddie Carlson's trying to get some style points there. But we'll get back to the race in just a moment. And we're back here at Talladega. Pit stops are about to be underway. We've got some takers, and we have some people staying out, so strategy being called right now. But folks, how about Jerry Funk pitting early in this race and having the caution come to his benefit? I think he's still 1 lap down, so he's going to do the wave around, probably be at the back of the longest line. But we'll see that when we go green. But the 3 car, I believe that is, let me see, I should know this, it's been a minute. Oh yeah, that's Joshua Harrison, my bad. Joshua Harrison, as he was the driver to lead them onto pit road. And it looks like they're going to be taking tires and gas here, so no fuel only stops here. As Denzel Scott comes off pit road first, and I believe The 3 beat that other car there. But how about Denzel Scott coming off pit road first? Denzel Scott's already got a win at a plate track. I want to say it was back at the Seattle plate race. Oh, and Cassie Reynolds with damage. That's not good. As we go back to Richard Petty, but we'll get you back to the green flag in just a moment. And we're back here at Talladega Superspeedway. After that quick wreck, I did not expect. 17 to 29 complete here, and let's take a look at the fallen here at Talladega. Finishing in last place as they're gridding up for double file restarts, folks. That's a new feature here in the ARCS. You're going to see a lot of for this rest of the season is double file restarts. So good to have that implemented. But finishing in last will be the 48 of Eddie Carlson. In 40th, Deacon Gentleman. In 39th, Michael Redinger. And in 38th, Ricky Quinn, who was leading, like I said, the regular season championship, and now pretty much handed it to David Long. And finishing in 37th, Cassidy Reynolds, and Jerry Funk is still 1 lap down, but we'll see how he cycles. Once he gets to the line, we'll see if he is gifted his lap back. We'll have to check back later and see what happens, as they're already going 3 wide here. And coming to the green, and Ryan Hubbs and Cooper Hones lead us back to racing. So how about that, folks? We got to see a big wreck here at Talladega with some major playoff implications. 15 bonus points just got handed to David Long, so David Long's probably happy. He gets that regular season crown early, but David Long still got a race to win here today. Unfortunately, Ricky Quinn does not, but Ricky Quinn's still in the playoffs, so that's good, as Ricky Quinn and David Long were both mathematically in to the playoffs. As it sat, is they had a massive points gap over the cutoff line of Darren Kiefer and Chris Hergeson, which we have not talked about much today, but we will talk about that shortly. As we got pitters, folks, drivers coming down. I don't know what that strategy call was for. Whoa, as Armando O'Reilly came on there really fast. We'll have to see if that's a speeding penalty there, as he was flying onto pit road, but I don't know what good this does for these drivers, as the rest of the pack is trying to sort themselves out, as Richard Morphy is now your leader, and like we've been talking about, he's the guy that was -6, but he is leading this race. And if he holds serve, he'll put himself in with a win. He won't need that 6-point margin to make himself in. But one thing I will add is Darren Kiefer, your Season 2 champion, pit under that caution. So, or not under that caution, but did not pit under that caution. And are they coming down pit road? Oh, we got a caution! Oh, they had cars on track have spun. Looks like Mitch Barrier, the back of that car, is absolutely toast. And we'll have to get a replay. And I don't know if the leaders came down to pit. We'll have to take a look. It looks like we had some takers as Ryan Hubbs led back to the caution flag. And that looks like it made those drivers come down and pit. We'll have to take a look at that replay, but we'll be back in a moment here at Talladega. And we're back, and it looks like Mitch Barrier ran out of gas and got rammed by the 24 of Theophilus Morganhofer Jr. and misses John Rothstein and Tyler Seville. My goodness, that is the best plate racing save I've seen in a long time for those drivers. But how about the defeat for Mitch Barrier as he's out of gas and crawling back to pit road here at Talladega. And folks, we've got 2 cars. Mitch Barrier is holding up Ryan Hubbs. And Mitch Barrier was holding up Ryan Hubbs, and Ryan Hubbs was trying to pit from about the lead or he was trying to pit from the top 5, and Mitch Barrier was having a fit on pit road and ran out of gas right in front of the 14. Oh my goodness. Oh, and Quinn Porter's out of gas. Oh my goodness, this race has had it all. This is probably the craziest race we've had for a cutoff race probably ever in the regular season. It's just thrown a monkey wrench into everything. And Ryan Hubbs, don't think he lost a lap there, but he's back on track. And Quinn Porter was out of gas on the speedway, now on pit road getting serviced, I think. We'll see if he comes out. Mitch Barrier's back out. And we'll see if Ryan Hubbs is going to wreck Mitch Barrier. But Ryan Hubbs is out on track, so we have 21 of 29 complete, but as Richard Petty still pacing, and we'll get you back to the green flag in just a moment. And we're back here at Talladega with this view from the Richard Petty pace car as Ryan Just is your leader, and there they go, folks. They're going to grid for the 2x2x2x2. All, well, used to be 41 cars, now it's cut down a little, as there are now 3 cars 1 lap down, as Richard Petty's going to motion to the bottom of the track. Not quite off the track yet, but those drivers are hoping he gets off the track and we don't get a repeat of any Bristol Dirt races. If you're an OG fan, you know about Bristol Dirt and what Richard Petty is capable of. But we won't harken back to those days quite yet. But as Ryan just comes through the tri-oval here, he is looking to get a win and in situation here. And I am just out of words for this race, folks, as they're jumping now to 2 and 3 wide before the start. And boogity, 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 here we go for the final 5 laps of this race. As Ryan Just, with help from Joshua Harrison on the bottom side of this track, are going to get things cranked up and ready to go. As this whole pack is now basically, well, I was going to say this whole pack is basically now together, but we do have drivers who have sustained damage throughout this race, so they're going to have to sort themselves out, and the drivers with damage are going to have to drop out a line here. But they just have to get up to speed. Look at Chris Hergeson, folks. He has jumped to the inside now, and he's behind that 72, and Chris Hergeson was the man that was -3 before this race, and he's now in second place. So he definitely needs it right here, right now. As Ryan Just and Chris Hergeson dueling like men in the Old West. Ryan Just needs the win. Chris Hergeson just needs the points. But both drivers would like to win here today. As Jack Porter is stalking them, I want to say, yep, he's another driver that he could win and in himself. So there's a lot of drivers, folks, up at the front that could really upset this playoff picture, because Darren Kiefer coming in, he only had, I want to say, a 3-point lead coming in. So if somebody new wins, he's out. He's done. His title defense is kaput. As Darren Kiefer is on the bottom there, as you can see, he's right in front of Cooper Hones, if you can see there. Yes, he is. I thought the drivers were going to pit there, but they just jumped to the bottom to try to get some ground on these front drivers as, whoa, that 42 car got loose in front of Joffrey Weeds. Ryan Just still leading here. He's holding on, pun, just barely. 26 of 29 complete. No cautions. So far, we're still going green. I'm going to say that, and something bad's going to happen. But it was a pretty stealthy caution that happened earlier. I looked to my right, and I saw Michael Redinger upside down. That's how quick they happen here at Talladega, as this pack is really discombobulated. But Cooper Hones, folks, has gotten to the inside of Darren Kiefer here. So Darren Kiefer's trying to mine the gap to Chris Hergeson. But if we get a new winner... a new winner. We're not cooking brats, folks. New winner here in the ARCS. As Ryan Just holds on here, he could upset Darren Kiefer in his title defense here in Season 3, but we still have a couple more circuits around this track left to go, as Cooper Hones has now jumped to the inside of Ryan Just. And I'm kind of sensing there's going to be something funky. I just have a feeling there's going to be a late caution in this race. I just have a tingly spidey sense here at Talladega. It's never not over. You've always got something else going on, as, whoa, Armando O'Reilly, he's got a win in the bank earlier this season. But he's stalking that 43. Whoa, and that 42 really jumped out of line there. That was an aggressive move, but Cooper Hones is going to try to block him and say, no way, Jose, as they're coming to 28 of 29 complete in this event. There are only 2 more laps to go in this regular season. As Cooper Hones with the commanding lead, but Jacob Bradley hasn't won since Season 1, and he's trying to lock himself in. Oh, and he faked him out! He went to top to try to push him and jump to the bottom with help from Richard Morphy. Oh, and Richard Morphy's going to jump to the inside. 3 wide for the lead here at Talladega. As Keith Vega in that 1 car, or Aiden King, I should say, that's a throwback for you people in Season 1, but Aiden King, I should say, jumps to the inside, and Robbie Margot is there. And Robbie Margot's going to make it 3 wide. Oh my goodness, and it just keeps coming here at Talladega. And as they come to the line, oh, I don't know who that led that lap, and it was Richard Morphy, and the scoring pylon doesn't even tell us by how much. As Robbie Margot is out in front here, and if Robbie Margot won this race, that would mean curtains for Darren Kiefer, and it would completely throw a cannonball into the playoff drivers who don't have a win right now. But Joffrey Weeds is there, and Denzel Scott's there as well. Oh, Denzel Scott. He won at Armory Digital earlier this season. Does he have another vintage moment in him? Can he get the win here today? He drops to the bottom. Denzel Scott's to the bottom. His two Toyotas out here at the front of this field. It's not in the tri-oval here. The start-finish line is in the start coming to turn one. And who's going to win? It's going to be Denzel Scott wins it here at Talladega. He's done it. He's got 2 wins on the season and gets 2 plate wins here in Season 3. And we'll have to see how the points fall because I have no clue who is in on points. But congratulations to Denzel Scott. Already had a win earlier this season, but it's always good to get another one in the bag. And we're back here at Talladega Super Speedway, where Denzel Scott gets his 2nd career victory in the ARCS. And he's got 2 wins in 1 season and joins the elite company, I want to say, of Bob Verstappen and Joffrey Weeds. So good job for Denzel Scott as he joins elite company here in Season 3. But in 2nd place, Robbie Margot with heartbreak, as Robbie Margot was trying to get into the playoffs but fell up 1 spot short in the final stretch to the start-finish line. In 3rd, Benedict Schumacher with a solid day. How about 4th place, folks? Ryan Hubbs get held up by Mitch Barrier on pit road and gets a top 5 out of it. Ryan Hubbs probably was looking to win this race, but hey, top 5 is still good after getting held up on pit road. In 5th, Joffrey Weeds. In 6th, Tyler Seville. In 7th, Jack Porter. In 8th, Aiden King. In 9th, Bob Verstappen. Rounding out your top 10, Tony Jansen. We'll take a look through the field here, and there are the drivers that were wrecked out of this race or 1 lap down. And now you know what time it is, folks. Don't tune out just quite yet. It's time to reveal the points here in Season 3 and determine who the 16 drivers are going to be for the playoffs. So we'll wait just 1 moment, folks, and show you the point standings in just a moment. And now let's take a look at the point standings after Talladega Super Speedway. Now let's take a look at your winners here. We obviously had Ryan Hubbs, Denzel Scott, who got the win at Talladega, so now he sits with 2 wins. There's how they shuffled out there for your winners this season. Now let's take a look at your regular season championship winner. And if you look down to the bottom of that points tally, David Long with 395 points, folks, and that is a new ARCS record. In Season 2, Mitch Barrier and Deacon Gentleman tied with 391 points for the title. It was broken by top 5 finishes, but David Long with a new ARCS record, so congratulations to the rookie. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, let's take a look at the drivers that pointed their way in Season 3. In Season 3, Richard Morphy and Chris Hergeson will be joining the playoff field, with only 2 points separating them between Darren Kiefer, as Darren Kiefer misses out on the championship defense for Season 3 by 1 position all season, folks. That was the decider. Chris Hergeson beats Darren Kiefer 360 to 359. That was it. And Eddie Carlson as well also faltered and got last place at Talladega, giving him no points. So let's take a look at the rest of the points picture before we reset going into the playoffs. And there's how it looks, folks, as William Donuts was the bottom driver, well, in points with the win, but Darren Kiefer and the rest of the other 25 drivers that are out of this one hoping to obviously get a win in the playoffs, but we're just going to give them a little recognition here as you can look through and find your driver. But with that pretty much wraps up the regular season. And next race in the playoffs, we go to Chicagoland for the first playoff race of the season. So hope to see you there. Don't tune out, and we'll like to see you at Chicagoland.